Hey guys, Adari Bros here again, and today I'm bringing you guys a new video. Obviously this is not a Pennsylvania Railroad engine, this is a Norfolk and Western Class Y6b 2882. This is the new run from Broadway Limited. This is engine number 2200. Cool fact about number 2200, it was the last mainline steam engine ever built. But first I'm going to just show you guys the locomotive running, and then we'll get into some specific details. Alright, so now I'm going to get into some more specific details on the locomotive. One cool feature is the great smoke unit. The smoke unit is perfect. I don't know what they did to this particular engine, but it smokes better than any other. The second thing I really like about it is just the look of it overall. If you notice, you have that great gorgeous front end, and the headlight, it is not blue anymore. They've really gone finally a white headlight. At least it's white instead of blue. I would have preferred it being golden, because back then they had dynamos and that was basically just fire. So I would love to see a more golden one on their steam engines, but you know what, I'm fine with the white. There really are no complaints on that. The driving wheels are just gorgeous. The detail they put on just the driving wheels is just fantastic. Again, I don't know what all this stuff does in real life, but I believe that is part of the reversing unit. And the sand domes are perfect. I'll let you guys look at it for a second. You're going to notice that bell right there you have a fireman and a conductor, or a fireman and a engineer. Not fireman and conductor. Boy, I'm way off today. The coal load, they're using real coal, and all the lettering is crisp, and the detail is gorgeous. The rivets, they're spot on, and they're bold, and you can really see them. This is my first purchase other than a Pennsylvania Railroad that hasn't been a Pennsylvania Railroad steam locomotive in over 6 or 7 years, and that's really saying something. Norfolk and Western, there's a famous quote by, I believe, what's that guy's name who did all the photos? But anyway, his famous quote, I believe this was him, he said, the reason the Norfolk and Western Railway never bought locomotives from Baldwin or Alco is because they wrote the book on how to build locomotives. Their locomotives were some of the most powerful, innovative machines. I mean, just to name a few, you have the mighty Y class, the Y6, the Y5s. You have the J, which is one of the best known passenger locomotives besides the K4, and then you have the A, which is one of the best dual service locomotives ever built. All of their locomotives were designed for pulling or speed or both, even in the case of the A. And This engine, Broadway Limited really delivers on this engine. In real life, this engine would be a crawler. It would be the ones pulling the 100-car coal trains up very steep grades. Now I just want to show you how slow they made this thing run. So this is 1 scale mile per hour, or at least 1 speed step. And I can get this slower if I were to throw in a new decoder, but this is from factory. This is how slow they got it to run. Now another thing to take note of, this is a mallet locomotive, and this has 2 cylinders, the front right here and the middle ones. The front ones are the high pressure cylinders, and the back ones I believe are low pressure. I'm almost 100% sure on that. After doing some further reading, I have learned that this locomotive in real life produced 166,000 pounds force pulling a train, and while the Union Pacific Big Boy only produced 135,375 tractive effort, which is a lot less if you really look at it in detail, which is another thing that is extremely impressive about Norfolk and Western locomotives. Railroads like the Virginian tried to build the 210-10-2s, which were not very successful. They would pull trains at the same length at about 8 miles per hour, while apparently, I did not know this locomotive pulled trains often at around 50 miles per hour. And there's even some evidence to suggest they went up to about 65 miles per hour. And they were Norfolk and Western ran steam till 1959, so they had the most experience. This locomotive was built in 1952, last steam locomotive again. Let me see if I can get a shot of the builder's plate real quick. As you can see from the previous shots, this locomotive is gorgeous. Now let me just do some running, and let's see how she performs. Behind this locomotive are 6 H2As, hoppers, that the Norfolk and Western built starting in about the mid-30s, and these hoppers lasted well into when diesels finally took over the Norfolk and Western at the end of 1959. Let's run this thing and see how she works. One thing Broadway Limited did a great job on this locomotive is that whistle. Although it's not exact with what the real life one sounded like, it's pretty good. And I prefer that over one of the generic ones they use on some of their locomotives. Let's get this thing rolling. Now another really cool feature is all the tender lettering that they put on just to showcase the detail that Broadway Limited can do. So on the back there it says the weight and tonnage. Again, the light is white, unlike previous runs with that awful blue light. Also, if you look up here in the brakeman's shed, there actually is a little brakeman. He's extremely hard to see, but if you look really closely and at certain angles, you can see him. Another really cool thing about this engine is the curved tender at the top there. I know Norfolk and Western did that for a reason, not just for looks. Probably something to do with how much water it could carry. And this thing was a very big tender. I believe it was 35 tons and could carry 220,000 gallons of water about. So it's a lot of water. There's another look of the engine from the other side. So the cool sounds include this bell. I like the bell actually like that on this engine because this engine did have a electric bell. The whistle. Which sounds pretty good. It might be a little electronic, but I do like it. Also, the motor itself is extremely quiet. And again, just look for yourself at the detail. It's fantastic. So now we're going to couple on to the H2A hoppers. Again, take note of the marker lights, the Norfolk and Western style front. As always, guys, I wish I knew a little more about steam locomotives, but overall, this locomotive, again, I'd give it another 9 out of 10. Same with the K4. And the reason behind the 9 out of 10 is because, well, the sound. The sound, again, is very similar, chuffs especially, to all the other sounds. Although I do love the whistle on this locomotive. And I love all the features about it. I love how they really took time and they put the jewels in for the marker lights, and just everything looks good. This thing runs fantastic, and you know, for the money I spent on this locomotive, I would buy another if I could. Or if somebody wants to give one to me for free, I'll take it. Also, if you guys want to know where to get this, the link will be right here, right below. Just click right there. His name is Scott. He runs Making Tracks. His website is easybizwebsite.com, I believe. And he's an extremely nice guy. He gives some of the fairest prices. He gives prices lower than MB Klein a lot of the time. I got my K4 at $270 or $260. I got this engine for like $50 under MB Klein's price. I think I paid $330 for this thing, or $340. I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember. Oh, $350, which is still a pretty good deal, especially since the thing only came out a week ago, or less than a month ago. You'd expect deals like that much later. So give him a call. Real nice guy. Tell him Adam sent you, and he'll know who I am. But other than that, guys, peace out. Talk to you soon.